Hello everyone, LA Diecast, and we got another video for the week. This weekly thing seems to be working for everybody, or at least a lot more people than usual. I noticed this last week that these kind of weekly recap videos have really been popular. So that's good because it works for me. That way I don't have to do as many. It's hard to see here in the videos, but the space that I use is really small. And my workshop has been taking up a lot of it, so making the videos was getting to be a bit of a chore, and doing them once a week works out great. A couple things. Andrew isn't here tonight, and he is at his aunt's as part of his Christmas visit. So my wife and I have a couple days by ourselves, and so Andrew isn't here. He'll be back next week. And if I know his aunt, he will come home with a lot of extra things and toys and Hot Wheels to share with everyone. A couple things. For the last couple days, I've been playing with a vinyl cutter, or it's a plotter, I think is the technical term, but it's a cutting machine. Kind of like a printer, but it cuts. So you use paths and vectors to direct where to cut, and if you match everything up, the nice thing about it is you can cut templates that will fit on your cars exactly. This is vinyl. This was a test cut, but after a few tweaks I got some templates to fit exactly, and they don't look like they fit exactly here because I haven't tucked them under. I don't really want to stick it on too tight, but they do fit exactly on there. And now I can do my tampo work on my customs a lot better. And if all that sounds a bit confusing, I grabbed one of Andrew's stickers. But basically it does the same thing as what's in this sticker. It takes a piece of artwork, and if I set the paths up correctly, then it will just pop right out. I didn't make this one, but it works exactly the same way. And you can use vinyl, so I can make airbrush templates. You can cut acetate, so again, airbrush stencils, templates, masks. I can cut water slide paper, which is my Tampos. That's what I'm going to use this for, and all sorts of other things. I'm planning on trying to cut some different types of material with it to fit into the custom. So this was the mock-up that was left over from this afternoon. I was trying to get my sizing and the templates correct, but you can see it fits on there exact, short of if I had tucked this under. So real neat. Also, I'm going to redo those dolphin cars that you saw last week. Same graphics, same everything, and they will probably look pretty much the same, but I wasn't real happy with some of the tampo work. Got a bit smudged, and so I'm going to use this new technique to cut out my tampos. And those will probably be done by next week when you see the video. So if you don't remember, this was the Dolphin power panel. I make 3 of these in each of the series. There's just a little bit of scrapes and scrunchies going on around in here. Wasn't real happy with it. So we're going to use this technique. That way I never have to touch the tampos to cut them. The machine will cut them for me, and you'll see some over here in the workshop in a little bit. So that took most of my time. Took some time to figure all that out. On another note, my chargers. Let's see if I can get this in here. My chargers have made it to the playoffs. Yes, against all odds, and it was against all odds. I think 2 other teams had to lose in the morning. Chargers still had to beat a Kansas City team playing its second team, which they barely beat. But the Chargers are in the playoffs, and they are playing the Bengals. And if you've been following the site here, you know that Shadjuice is a Bengals fan. I made him that Bengals power panel, which was kind of the first of these NFL power panels that I've been doing. So I'm going to lay down a bet. I'm going to see if Shadjuice will take me up on it, because I had told him when I had sent the the power panel to him that there was no way in hell that my Chargers were going to make the playoffs. And so there would never be a playoff game between him and the Bengals this year. And lo and behold, the Chargers are playing the Bengals in the first round of the playoffs next week. So, Shadjuice, I am challenging you and your Bengals to a showdown for a small box of Hot Wheels or cars or anything that you do not want. I am going to make you a bet. Winner take all, and for a small box of Hot Wheels. And you can reply to me on the Facebook page, Michael, if you want. And I thought that would be fun, because who would have ever thought the Chargers would be in the playoffs? Bengals were in the playoffs for a while, but Chargers weren't. So, and your Bengals, I'm sure, will be favored. So it's probably a bet in your favor. So for a small box of cars, I'm throwing down the bet. You can take it or not. It's a challenge. Also this week, I did find Sean Holden's Facebook page. Facebook group, I should say. I've been looking for it forever, and I knew he had one, and I finally found it, and I finally jumped on there. And Sean probably doesn't know it was me because I couldn't get under LE Diecast because it won't let communities join groups or vice versa or something, because Facebook just is that way. But I'm under Christian, Sean, so I am now in your group. You've been in my group for a while. So I was very excited because I finally got in there, and it was like going into a brand new toy store, and I got to see all sorts of things that Sean had been working on, and was very excited. So Sean, I'm in your group now. I'll participate, and at least we can use that to trade. We don't have to PM through Facebook too much longer. So I am going to jump over to, we're not going to have Andrew's segment because he's not here today. But I am going to jump over to the workshop, and I'll be back here in just a second. Okay, and we're back. I'm going to try this angle here at the workshop. I'm going to use this piece of vinyl here as my target. So, trying to get away from that, I can never get around the camera to show what I want to show. So I'm getting too much of my hands in the shot. So I'm going to try a different angle this time. Back to this vinyl that I was talking about, and cutting tampos and all the stuff you got to do when you're customizing. You get a lot of things that you have to cut. And you can use scissors, and you can use a X-Acto knife, and that's what I've been doing all along. But there's all sorts of problems with that. There's just no way to get really tiny cuts, like super tiny cuts. You just end up ripping up the paper. And also with tampos, and by the way, I should explain, a tampo is the decoration, or the sticker, as Andrew calls it, that goes on the car. So every car, I'm going to have an avalanche over here. Every car that we tend to collect has these tampos on it. Well, these are in industry. These are stamped on. They're painted on. Templates on the production line basically stamp these on, and then they're protected with an enamel finish. Most customizers use what are called water slide tampos, or they airbrush this on. And really complex graphics, like something like this, that I would not want to airbrush this. That's way too small, too much detail. But something like this will be tampoed on. And you'll make it with a water slide decal. There's two types of water slide decals. There's clear, and then there's white backed. The white backed are what I use most of the time because it allows you to get white. And the white allows you to get all the different colors on a colored car. So a white car, let me see if I've got one here. A white car, let me get this guy. The whole shelf doesn't fall apart here. A white car, something like this one, you can use a clear tampo because the color will show through with white backing it, and you'll get a pure color. So you could use something like a red tampo, or a red, scratch that, a clear water slide decal for something like this little emblem here. Get a better shot there. Something like that little emblem there, because it's a white backed car. So on eBay or collector site, you'll see a lot of white cars with really nice decal work. Because the white or the clear tampos are a little bit easier to use. And the reason is because if you have something like this, you can cut a little square around it, which is easy to cut, and the clear water slide paper won't show. So it's kind of like a decal that you'd put on a model, like a sticker, and you don't have to cut all the way around it. When you're using the white-backed water slide on a colored casting like this, you can't use clear, because everywhere where there's white, it would just show through to the blue. So you got to have that white paper. The reason is printers don't print white. So you got to have the white on the paper. Well, the problem with that is you have to cut exactly around that tampo, or you're going to have little squares or extra color around all the stickers. So something like the top of this roof isn't a big deal. That's just a rectangle. But something like this side of this power panel here, which is all one water slide decal, white-backed water slide decal, well, that's a pain. First, you got to cut the template. Then you got to match that up, and I've got to use calipers to match it up with my digital software to make the thing. Then when you print it, you hope it's the right size because you kind of get one shot. Then you got to cut it out with an X-Acto knife, and the X-Acto knife kind of tears, and it's hard. It's really hard. So I got a cutting machine. It's called a Silhouette Cameo. A lot of people use it for crafting and scrapbooking, I think, is probably the main market for it. But I found out about it in our fashion degree at the college. They use it to cut out small pieces of fabric to sew onto dresses and whatever. And I thought, well, that would be cool. I looked into it, and yeah, some people already are using it in the customizing world to cut out their tampos. And so what I did today, like I mentioned before, is I used vinyl, which has a sticky back, and I cut out a template, and through some tweaking, I got it to fit directly on this power panel. Now, the big deal isn't that I can stick vinyl on a Hot Wheels. That's really not a big deal. In fact, the vinyl's going to come off. The vinyl's just a test. But it does mean that I could cut out my own tampos. Yay! And so you can see here, if I get them over here, these are all precisely cut tampos. Precisely cut tampos for something like this power panel, and they will stick right on there. And you can see that they will stick right on there exactly, and the customizers out there will know that that is a big time saver. But you can do some really precise work with this. I don't know if this will show up. This little guy here, not really a big deal. It's just a little scrap of paper, but that is precisely cut to fit on. Let's see if I can get it to fit. Precisely cut, and it's too stiff, but to fit on that fender right there. And it's not really going to show, but it will fit exactly on that fender. I've never been able to do that before, so I was really excited. And I figured out the process to size these things correctly, cut them, print the color, cut them all in one shot. I was very excited about that. So these are the tampos for the Dolphin power panel. And these are the tampos for the Safari wagons that I'm going to be making. And I wanted to show you this one particularly, because it really shows what you can do with this. Let's see if I can get that close enough to the camera. This little tampo, if you can see that, it's very small. Can you see the wings on that? That was cut by the machine. I could never do that with an X-Acto knife. I would rip it. And so I'm pretty excited about that. So these guys are going to go on, come here, something like, see if I measured right. See if I can get the right tempo here. Here we go. Come here, tiger. These are going to go on, like this is a door tampo. So it's going to go on there. And if I can find a bigger one, there's one. Old tiger. Old tiger's going to go on there. Right on the hood. Pretty cool. I got a close up of that. That is really cool. I'm excited about that. I can also cut out my airbrush templates and masks too. So that's the next thing we're going to experiment with. So very excited about that. That is going to open up all sorts of opportunities for customizing. So next up are going to be the redos of the Dolphin power panels, the Safari wagons, and I wanted to show you a couple others. Oh, by the way, these are templates for airbrushing flames. I did not make these, but now I can make these. You just peel them off. There's your airbrush templates. Very cool. So, few things we've been working on. This little guy who's all mocked up, so he is not entirely all in one piece right now and not glued together. But this little what's he called? A shark rod or a sharkinator? I always call him a sharkinator when Andrew plays with him. Anyways, I don't remember what he was called. He's a little shark one. I cut a piece out, and I thought this was neat. I had seen this done a lot where people cut kind of the center piece out and glue them together and either make one that's extra long with the extra piece included or extra stumpy. So I made this little guppinator, little guppy mobile. And I think he's pretty cool. We're going to get him all glued together, and he needs some fitting going on here with his engines and all. But he's going to be pretty cool. So he is coming up in the queue. We also got some more animals. Here, let's let our polar bear here has been caged up for a long time. I don't think they're supposed to be caged up. But for Christmas, I got a few more little animals for the Safari wagon, so I'm not sure which ones are going to make the cut. Which ones are new? This guy's new. Andrew already claimed the giraffe. I told him he could have one. So he claimed the giraffe. But we've got some little animals. These are called lucky animals or lucky pocket animals, something like that. But they are close to the right scale. And so some of these guys are going in our Safari. By the way, the Safari cars are drying as we speak, so you'll probably see them next week. Also, a couple things, then we'll wrap up. For Christmas, I got these from my wife, which was fantastic, because she usually doesn't get me stuff for my hobbies. She lets me pick stuff out. But I got this Rust and Dust set from Micromart, and I'm really looking forward to using these. I wanted to use these for a long time and just never got around to it. So really looking forward to these. I think these are the acrylics. Pretty sure those are acrylics. Haven't even opened them yet, but they're there. Last but not least, I got a few other things for Christmas, and I wanted to show you these because they are really cool. I got this set of, what do you call these? They're wire formers. But what they do, and I don't have a piece of wire here, or I could show you. Don't have a piece of wire. Oh, okay, well, maybe next week I'll show you. But what they do is they bend wire. And they bend it in perfect little, perfect curves, right angles. This one might be the right angle. This one's like a hairpin turn, like a paperclip turn, that one. And this one I believe is the square one. Well, sort of square. This one is the wider turn. So you can use those for exhaust. So I think they sell them mostly in train stores. But very excited about using those. I was playing with them on Christmas. Very easy to use. I wish I would have saved the stuff I was making. I think I threw that out. So, again, really excited about the Tampos. I think that's going to be the big deal. The next segment, we're going to show you a little bit about one of the toys we got for Christmas, since Andrew isn't here to talk about his stuff. And other than that, I'm going to see you all next week. And thanks for watching. And remember, we do have the Facebook page it's LE Diecast on Facebook. It's just a community. You don't need to join or anything. You just go there, you like it, and you're just part of the community. So hope to see you somewhere, and we will see you all soon. Bye-bye. Try another one.
Alright.
Crash. Crash.
Crash.
Try it. How many cards do we have on there? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So that's 6 cards. All on there at once. Oh, it's going to crash. There went one. 6 will hold up for a little while. We got new batteries in the boosters. 6 will be great. So something to remember is these 12-inch pieces. There's a short-walled one and a high-walled one. So the turns take the short-walled one. You can see here it's got like a shallow wall, as opposed to these, which are a thicker wall. So the thick-wall ones are the flats. The thin-walled ones go on the turns. And if your turns buckle or get kind of wobbly in here, when you put them together, then you're using the thick-walled ones. So use the thin-walled ones for the turns, and there should be 4 thin-walled ones in your package. And I don't remember if the instructions said that or not, but we had to figure it out. Actually, Andrew figured it out. So just something to keep in mind. Get him, Star. Get him. Get him. Get him. Oh, that's cheating. That's cheating.
Mine's sneaky.
Let's start cheating on this one.
Which one did she get?
You got mine.
I'm still on the track.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. She broke the track. She's going to get them all. Broke the track, Star.
Oh, come on.
There she goes.